You have been lied to about wealth. Not just once. Every single day of your life, someone has fed you a false story about money, prosperity, and the nature of abundance. And you believed it. You absorbed it into your bones. You made it your reality. The lie is this, that wealth comes from the outside. That it arrives through luck, through inheritance, through perfect timing, or through circumstances aligning in your favor. That some people are chosen and others are not. That the game is rigged before you even sit down to play. This is the greatest deception ever perpetrated on the human mind. Because while you wait for the world to hand you what you think you deserve, while you blame the economy, your employer, your education, or your family background, someone else is building an empire with less than what you have right now. Someone with fewer connections. Someone who started with more debt. Someone the world counted out before they even began. What did they know that you do not? They understood a principle so ancient, so fundamental, that it has been whispered through the ages by every person who ever rose from nothing to create something magnificent. This principle was understood by kings and merchants, by builders and inventors, by every individual who refused to accept the verdict that life handed them. This principle was understood by Isaac. Not the Isaac you might know from history books or religious texts. I speak of a different kind of Isaac. A pattern. A model. A representation of the person who grasps the invisible laws that govern the accumulation of wealth and applies them with absolute faith and unwavering consistency. Isaac's wealth secrets are not secrets at all. They are truths hidden in plain sight. Principles that operate whether you believe in them or not. Laws as reliable as gravity, as certain as the sunrise. But here is what separates you from Isaac. He looked at these principles and said, I will make these mine. He did not wait for permission. He did not ask if it was his turn. He did not wonder if he was worthy. He claimed his inheritance. And so must you. From this moment forward, you must understand that your financial condition is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are not the victim of your bank account. You are its architect. Every dollar you have or do not have is a direct reflection of the thoughts you have entertained, the beliefs you have nourished, and the actions you have taken or failed to take. This is not about positive thinking. This is not about wishing and hoping. This is about accepting a truth that most people will run from their entire lives. You are responsible. Completely. Totally. Without exception. The moment you accept this, everything changes. Before we go deeper, I need you to do something. Subscribe to this channel right now. Not later. Not when the video ends. Now. Because this decision, this small act of commitment, is the first test of whether you are serious about transformation or simply consuming content to pass time. And leave a comment telling me where you are watching this from. Let me know you are ready to break free from the ordinary patterns that have kept you locked in limitation. Now we begin. There is a law that governs all wealth. It operates without emotion. Without bias. Without consideration for your past, your pain, or your excuses. This law states, your outer world of wealth is an exact mirror of your inner world of consciousness. Read that again. Your bank account is not random. Your income is not accidental. Your financial struggles are not bad luck. They are the physical manifestation of your mental equivalent. They are the printout of your subconscious programming. They are the harvest of seeds you planted long ago with your thoughts, your words, and your habitual patterns of belief. Isaac understood this law at a level that most people never reach. He understood that wealth does not begin in the marketplace. It does not begin with a business plan or a paycheck or an investment. It begins in the mind. In the silent, invisible realm where your self-concept lives. Who do you believe yourself to be when no one is watching? When you are alone with your thoughts, do you see yourself as someone destined for prosperity? Or do you see yourself as someone who must struggle, who must scrape by, who must apologize for wanting more? This is not a casual question. This is the question upon which your entire financial destiny hinges. Because here is what happens in the mind of the person who remains poor: they carry an image of scarcity. They rehearse limitation. They practice lack. Every day, in 1,000 small ways, they tell themselves the story of not enough. Not enough money. Not enough opportunity. Not enough time. Not enough support. And the universe, which is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back what you project, says, "Your wish is my command." You get exactly what you expect. Not what you want. Not what you wish for. What you expect at the deepest level of your being. Isaac expected wealth. Not because he was arrogant. Not because he was naive. But because he built a mental image of prosperity so vivid, so detailed, so emotionally charged that his subconscious mind had no choice but to move him toward its realization. He did not hope for wealth. He claimed it in his mind first. He lived in the feeling of it before it appeared in physical form. He walked with the confidence of a wealthy man before his bank account reflected it. And because he did this consistently, faithfully, without wavering, the outer world had no choice but to conform to the inner pattern. This is not magic. This is law. Let me be clear about what this means for you. If you are not where you want to be financially, it is because you have been practicing poverty in your mind. You have been rehearsing failure. You have been imagining worst-case scenarios. You have been speaking words of defeat. You have been feeling the emotions of lack. And all of this has become your instruction to the creative power within you. You say, "But I want more money. I think about money all the time." Yes, but how do you think about it? With anxiety? With resentment? With the energy of chasing something that is always just out of reach? That is not thinking from wealth. That is thinking from poverty. Isaac thought from wealth. There is a profound difference. When you think from wealth, you make decisions as a wealthy person would make them. You carry yourself as a person of value. You invest in yourself without guilt. You say no to opportunities that do not align with your vision. You do not beg. You do not chase. You do not compromise your worth for the sake of immediate relief. This is the mental posture that creates wealth. Not the actions alone. The actions flow from the posture. You have been taught to believe that if you just work harder, if you just find the right strategy, if you just meet the right person, then wealth will come. But you have the equation backwards. Wealth comes to the person who has first become wealthy in their mind. Isaac became that person. He did not wait for external validation. He did not wait for the market to improve or for his circumstances to shift. He changed his inner world first, and the outer world had no choice but to follow. This is the big idea. This is the central principle. This is the truth that will either set you free or remain an interesting concept you heard once and forgot. Your results are not random. They are lawful. They are the inevitable consequence of your dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Change your inner world, and your outer world must change. This is not a suggestion. This is not a possibility. This is a law as fixed as mathematics. Now, you might be thinking, if this is true, why don't more people know about it? Why isn't everyone wealthy? Because most people do not want to accept responsibility. They would rather blame the government, the economy, their employer, their parents, their education, or 100 other external factors than look in the mirror and admit the truth: I created this. And if I created this, I can create something different. That level of responsibility is terrifying to the average person. It is easier to live as a victim than as a creator. It is easier to complain than to change. But you are not average. If you were, you would not still be here. Something inside you knows there is another way. Something inside you is hungry for the truth, even if that truth demands everything from you. Isaac was willing to pay that price. He was willing to take full responsibility for his financial condition. He was willing to stop blaming and start building. And that is what separated him from the crowd. Let me tell you something else about this law. It does not care about your story. It does not care if you came from poverty or privilege. It does not care if you were abused, neglected, or overlooked. It does not care if you have failed 100 times before. The law responds only to your current mental state. To the thoughts you are thinking now. To the beliefs you are holding now. To the images you are entertaining now. This means your past does not determine your future unless you allow it to. The only reason your past seems to follow you is because you keep dragging it into your present with your thoughts and words. Isaac let go of his past. He did not use it as an excuse. He did not let it define him. He understood that every moment is a new beginning. Every moment is a fresh opportunity to plant a different seed. And so he planted seeds of abundance. He planted seeds of confidence. He planted seeds of expectation. And in time, those seeds grew into a harvest that others called luck, talent, or blessing. But it was none of those things. It was law in action. You are standing at a crossroads right now. One path leads to more of the same. More struggle. More frustration. More stories about why things are not working. That path is comfortable because it is familiar. You know how to walk it. You have walked it your entire life. The other path leads to something different. It leads to the acceptance of a truth that will change everything. You are the cause. Not the effect. You are the creator. Not the victim. This path is not comfortable. It demands that you give up your excuses. It demands that you stop looking outside yourself for salvation. It demands that you take your mind in hand and reshape it according to a higher vision. But it is the only path to wealth. The only path to freedom. The only path to the life you say you want. Isaac took this path. He did not turn back. He did not second-guess himself. He committed, fully and completely, to the idea that his mind was the source of his wealth. And his results proved him right. You can have the same results. Not because you are special. Not because you are chosen. But because the same law that worked for Isaac is working for you right now. The question is, are you going to align with it or resist it? Are you going to continue practicing poverty in your mind, or are you going to start practicing wealth? Everything depends on how you answer that question. Now we must go deeper. We must confront the patterns that are keeping you locked in financial mediocrity. Because understanding the principle is not enough. You must also see where you are violating it. You must identify the mental and behavioral mistakes that are sabotaging your results. And I warn you, this will not be pleasant. You will not enjoy what I am about to show you. But if you are serious about wealth, you will face it anyway. The first mistake is this: you think about money from a position of need instead of a position of power. Listen carefully. Every time you think about money with anxiety, you are programming poverty into your subconscious. Every time you check your bank account with fear, you are reinforcing the image of lack. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," you are instructing your creative mind to find more evidence of limitation. You think you are being realistic. You think you are being responsible. But what you are really doing is practicing poverty. Isaac never thought about money from need. He thought about it from vision. He saw wealth as something he was moving toward, not something he was desperately chasing. He felt abundant before he had physical evidence of abundance. This is the shift you must make. You must stop relating to money as something outside yourself that you must beg for, chase, or manipulate into your life. You must start relating to it as something that flows naturally to a person who holds the right mental equivalent. But you have been trained to do the opposite. You have been trained to worry about money. To stress about bills. To panic when unexpected expenses arise. And every time you do this, you strengthen the neural pathways of scarcity in your brain. You are literally rewiring yourself for poverty. And then you wonder why nothing changes. The second mistake: you wait for circumstances to change before you change your thoughts and feelings. You say, when I have more money, then I will feel abundant. When I get the promotion, then I will feel confident. When my business takes off, then I will feel secure. This is backwards. Completely backwards. Circumstances do not create feelings. Feelings create circumstances. Isaac felt wealthy first. He cultivated the emotion of abundance before he had evidence. He walked in faith, not in sight. You must do the same. You must generate the feeling of wealth now. Not when the check arrives. Not when the deal closes. Now. How do you do this? You imagine it. You visualize it. You feel it in your body as if it has already happened. You speak words of abundance. You make decisions as a wealthy person would make them. This is not pretending. This is impressing a new pattern onto your subconscious mind. This is planting a seed that must, by law, produce a harvest. But most people refuse to do this. They say, I will believe it when I see it. And so they never see it. Because belief comes first. Always. The third mistake: you take action from desperation instead of inspiration. There is a difference between hustle and desperation. There is a difference between discipline and panic. Isaac worked hard, yes. But he worked from a place of clarity and purpose, not from fear and urgency. When you act from desperation, you make poor decisions. You accept opportunities that are beneath you. You compromise your values for short-term gain. You repel the very people and circumstances that could elevate you. Desperation has an energy that others can feel. It makes you needy. It makes you small. It makes you forgettable. Isaac was never desperate. He knew his value. He knew that wealth was his right, not a favor someone else could grant or withhold. And because he carried this energy, people wanted to work with him. Opportunities came to him. Doors opened that remained closed to others. You must cultivate this same energy. You must move through the world as someone who has something to offer, not as someone begging for a chance. This does not mean arrogance. It means confidence rooted in a deep understanding of your worth. But you have been taught to play small. To be grateful for scraps. To accept less than you deserve because at least it is something. That mindset will keep you poor forever. The fourth mistake: you consume more than you create. Look at how you spend your time. How much of it is spent consuming entertainment, scrolling through social media, watching television, or engaging in activities that add nothing to your value? And how much of it is spent creating, building, learning, or developing skills that increase your capacity to generate wealth? Isaac was a creator, not a consumer. He invested his time, energy, and attention into activities that compounded. He read books that sharpened his mind. He associated with people who challenged him to think bigger. He studied principles that gave him an edge. You, on the other hand, are bleeding your potential into distractions. You are giving away your most valuable asset, your attention, to things that do not serve your vision. And then you say you do not have time to build wealth. You have time. You are simply using it poorly. The fifth mistake: you surround yourself with people who reinforce your limitations. Show me your 5 closest friends, and I will show you your future. This is not a metaphor. This is a fact. If your friends are complainers, you will complain. If they are cynical about money, you will be cynical. If they settle for mediocrity, you will settle. Isaac understood the power of association. He did not waste time with people who pulled him down. He did not argue with cynics or try to convince doubters. He simply removed himself from those environments and sought out people who were moving in the direction he wanted to go. You must do the same. If the people around you mock your ambition, drain your energy, or reinforce the belief that wealth is for other people, you must distance yourself from them. This is not cruelty. This is self-preservation. You cannot rise to a new level while maintaining relationships that keep you anchored to the old one. The sixth mistake: you give up too soon. You try something for a few weeks or a few months, and when you do not see immediate results, you quit. You tell yourself it does not work. You move on to the next thing, and the cycle repeats. Isaac did not quit. He understood that wealth is built through consistency over time. He understood that the real results come after most people have given up. He planted his seeds and watered them daily, even when he could not see anything growing above the surface. He trusted the process. He trusted the law. And in time, the harvest came. You must develop this same level of faith. You must commit to the principle even when your circumstances mock you. Even when nothing seems to be happening. Even when doubt whispers that you are wasting your time. This is the test. This is where most people fail. Not because the principle does not work, but because they do not work the principle long enough to see results. The seventh mistake: you focus on what you lack instead of what you want to create. Where is your attention? Is it on the bills you cannot pay, or on the vision of financial freedom? Is it on the mistakes of your past, or on the possibilities of your future? Whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on lack, you will create more lack. If you focus on debt, you will attract more debt. This is not punishment. This is law. Isaac kept his attention on his vision. He did not deny his current circumstances, but he did not dwell on them either. He acknowledged where he was and then immediately redirected his focus to where he was going. You must train yourself to do the same. Every time your mind drifts toward worry, fear, or complaint, you must consciously redirect it toward your vision. This is not easy. Your mind has been conditioned to focus on problems. It has been trained to scan for danger, for what is wrong, for what could go wrong. But that programming will keep you stuck. You must override it with intention and discipline. These are the mistakes. These are the patterns that are robbing you of the wealth you say you want. And until you confront them, nothing will change. You can read every book. You can watch every video. You can attend every seminar. But if you continue to make these mistakes, you will continue to get the same results. Isaac did not make these mistakes. Or when he did, he corrected them immediately. He refused to let them become habits. You must do the same. Now comes the moment of transformation. The moment where you leave behind the old way of thinking and step into something greater. This is not theory anymore. This is the point where you decide. Are you going to continue operating from the mindset of scarcity, or are you going to adopt the mindset that creates wealth? The choice is yours. No one can make it for you. The new mindset begins with a single declaration: I am responsible for my wealth. Not partially responsible. Not mostly responsible. Totally responsible. This means you stop blaming. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for someone else to change your situation. You accept that everything you have or do not have is a result of the consciousness you have been operating from. This is not about guilt. This is about power. Because if you created your current results, that means you have the power to create different results. Isaac lived from this mindset every single day. He did not look outside himself for the source of his wealth. He looked within. He knew that his thoughts, his beliefs, and his actions were the creative forces shaping his reality. And he took command of those forces. You must do the same. You must take command of your mind. You must stop letting it run wild with fear, doubt, and negativity. You must train it. Discipline it. Direct it toward the outcomes you desire. This requires daily practice. It requires vigilance. It requires that you catch yourself every time you slip back into the old patterns and consciously choose a new thought. The second element of the new mindset is this: I think from wealth, not toward wealth. This is subtle, but it is everything. When you think toward wealth, you are always in a state of wanting. You are always focused on the gap between where you are and where you want to be. This keeps you in a state of lack. When you think from wealth, you assume the feeling of already having what you desire. You make decisions from that place. You speak from that place. You act from that place. Isaac did not say, "I hope to be wealthy someday." He said, "I am a wealthy man, and my circumstances are catching up to that truth." This is not delusion. This is impressing a new identity onto your subconscious mind. This is claiming the mental equivalent of wealth before it manifests physically. You must adopt this same posture. You must walk as a person of value. You must speak as someone who knows their worth. You must make decisions as someone who trusts that resources will flow to them. This does not mean being reckless. It means being confident. It means moving with the assurance that you are supported by the same creative intelligence that grows trees from seeds and turns acorns into oaks. The third element: I focus on service and value, not on getting. Here is a truth that will change your relationship with money forever: wealth flows to those who serve, not to those who grab. Isaac understood this. He did not ask, "How can I get more money?" He asked, "How can I provide more value? How can I solve bigger problems? How can I serve more people?" And as he served, wealth came to him as a natural consequence. This is the law of circulation. Money is not a thing to hoard. It is energy in motion. It flows toward those who give it a reason to flow. If you want more money, you must provide more value. You must solve bigger problems. You must serve at a higher level. But most people have this backwards. They want to receive first, then they will give. They want to be paid first, then they will perform. That is not how the law works. You give first. You serve first. You provide value first. And then, as surely as the sun rises, the rewards come. The fourth element: I am patient with results but disciplined with actions. Isaac was not in a hurry. He understood that true wealth is built over time. He understood that the greatest fortunes are not made overnight, but through consistent effort compounded over months and years. But while he was patient with results, he was ruthlessly disciplined with his daily actions. He did not wait to feel motivated. He did not make excuses. He did what needed to be done, every single day, regardless of how he felt. You must develop this same discipline. You must commit to daily actions that move you toward your vision, even when you do not see immediate progress. This is where most people fail. They want instant results. They want to see proof before they commit. But the law does not work that way. You commit first. You act first. You do the work in the invisible realm of thought and habit. And then, when the time is right, the results appear. The fifth element: I control my words, for they are containers of power. Isaac was careful with his speech. He understood that words are not just sounds. They are creative forces. They shape your beliefs. They program your subconscious. They instruct the universe about what to deliver to you. He did not say, "I am broke." He did not say, "I cannot afford that." He did not say, "Money is hard to come by." Because every time you speak those words, you make them more true. Instead, he spoke words of abundance. He spoke words of faith. He spoke words of expectation. And over time, those words became his reality. You must do the same. You must monitor your speech. You must catch yourself every time you speak words of lack and replace them with words of abundance. This is not about lying. This is about aligning your words with the reality you are creating. The sixth element: I invest in myself first. Isaac did not wait until he was wealthy to invest in his growth. He invested in his mind, his skills, and his character from the very beginning. He understood that the greatest investment is not in the stock market or real estate. It is in yourself. When you invest in yourself, you increase your value. When you increase your value, you increase your capacity to generate wealth. But most people do the opposite. They wait until they have extra money, and then maybe they will take a course or read a book or hire a coach. That mindset keeps you small. That mindset keeps you stuck. If you want to become wealthy, you must invest in yourself now. Not later. Now. Buy the book. Take the course. Hire the mentor. Do whatever it takes to sharpen your mind and expand your skills. This is not an expense. This is an investment that will return to you multiplied. The seventh element, I take responsibility for my energy. Isaac understood that his state of mind was his most valuable asset. He did not let external circumstances dictate his internal state. He guarded his energy. He protected his peace. He refused to let negativity take root in his mind. You must do the same. You must take responsibility for how you feel. You must recognize that no one can make you angry, frustrated, or discouraged without your permission. Your energy is your currency. When it is high, you attract opportunities. When it is low, you repel them. Guard it. Protect it. Cultivate it daily. This is the new mindset. This is the mental territory that Isaac occupied. And this is the territory you must claim if you want to experience the same results. It is not complicated. But it is demanding. It requires that you think differently. Speak differently. Act differently. It requires that you become a different person. And that is exactly what must happen. Because the person you have been cannot create the wealth you desire. Only the person you are becoming can do that. Now we move from principle to practice. From theory to action. Because understanding changes nothing. Only application changes everything. Isaac did not just know these principles. He lived them. He practiced them daily. He built habits that reinforced his mental equivalent of wealth. And you must do the same. Here are the daily practices that will transform your relationship with money and unlock the wealth that is waiting for you. Practice 1, the morning mental rehearsal. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you speak to anyone, before you engage with the world, you must spend time in your mind creating the reality you want to live. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. And see yourself living as a wealthy person. Do not just think about wealth. Feel it. See the bank account. See the opportunities. See yourself making decisions from a place of abundance. Make this mental picture so vivid that your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. This is not daydreaming. This is programming. You are impressing a new pattern onto your subconscious, and over time, that pattern will manifest as your physical reality. Isaac did this every single day. He spent time in his mind before he spent time in the world. And because he did this, his outer actions were guided by an inner vision. You must commit to this practice. 10 minutes every morning. No excuses. No exceptions. This is not optional if you are serious about wealth. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Practice 2, the gratitude inventory. Immediately after your mental rehearsal, you must practice gratitude. Not because it feels good, but because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Write down 10 things you are grateful for. Not just big things. Small things. The fact that you have clean water. The fact that you can read. The fact that you have opportunities available to you that your ancestors could never have imagined. Gratitude is the antidote to scarcity. When you focus on what you have, you send a signal to your subconscious that you are abundant. And your subconscious will work to create more evidence of that abundance. Isaac practiced gratitude relentlessly. Even when things were difficult, he found things to be grateful for. This kept his mind in a state of abundance instead of lack. You must do the same. Make this a daily habit. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Feel it in your body. Gratitude is not just a nice idea. It is a wealth-building practice. Practice 3, the Value Creation Hour. Every single day, you must dedicate at least 1 hour to creating value. This means working on something that increases your skills, serves others, or builds an asset that will generate income. This is not your job. This is not your routine tasks. This is the work that moves you forward. The work that compounds over time. The work that separates you from the crowd. Isaac was obsessed with value creation. He did not just trade time for money. He created things that had lasting value. He built systems. He developed skills. He invested in projects that would pay him long after the work was done. You must do the same. 1 hour every day. Minimum. No negotiation. If you do this consistently for a year, you will be astonished at what you have built. But most people will not do it. They will say they do not have time. They will say they are too tired. They will find 1,000 excuses. And they will remain exactly where they are. Do not be like them. Commit to the Value Creation Hour. Protect it. Treat it as sacred. This is where your future wealth is forged. Practice 4, the Language Audit. Throughout the day, you must monitor your words. Every time you catch yourself speaking words of lack, you must immediately correct yourself. Do not say, I am broke. Say, I am building wealth. Do not say, I cannot afford that. Say, that is not a priority for me right now. Do not say, money is hard to come by. Say, money flows to me easily as I provide value. This might feel awkward at first. You might feel like you are lying to yourself. But you are not lying. You are reprogramming. Your words create your reality. If you continue speaking words of poverty, you will continue living in poverty. Isaac was meticulous with his words. He understood that language was not neutral. It was creative. And he used it deliberately to shape his reality. You must develop the same awareness. Catch yourself. Correct yourself. Speak words that align with the wealth you are creating. Practice 5, the Investment Mindset. Every time you spend money, you must ask yourself, is this an investment or an expense? An investment returns value to you. It increases your skills, your health, your network, or your capacity to generate wealth. An expense depletes you without returning value. Most people spend their money on expenses and wonder why they never get ahead. Isaac spent his money on investments. Even when he had little, he invested in things that would grow. He bought books when he could not afford entertainment. He paid for courses when others were buying gadgets. He invested in his mind when others were investing in comfort. And over time, those investments compounded into wealth. You must adopt this same mindset. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, will this move me closer to my vision, or further away? If the answer is further away, do not buy it. No matter how good the deal is. No matter how much you want it. Discipline your spending. Invest in assets. Build equity in yourself. This is how wealth is created. Practice 6, the Association Audit. Once a month, you must evaluate the people you spend time with. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they supporting your vision or mocking it? Are they growing or stagnating? If someone is consistently negative, if they drain your energy, if they reinforce your limitations, you must reduce your exposure to them. This does not mean you become arrogant or unkind. It means you protect your mental environment. It means you choose growth over comfort. Isaac was strategic about his associations. He sought out people who challenged him, who inspired him, who were further along the path he wanted to walk. And he distanced himself from people who did not. You must do the same. Your network is your net worth. If you surround yourself with poverty-minded people, you will remain poor. If you surround yourself with growth-minded people, you will grow. Choose wisely. Practice 7. The evening reflection. At the end of each day, before you go to sleep, you must review your day. Ask yourself, did I think from wealth today, or did I think from lack? Did I speak words of abundance, or words of scarcity? Did I take actions that moved me toward my vision, or did I coast? Be honest. Do not judge yourself harshly, but do not lie to yourself either. Then, regardless of how the day went, you must visualize the next day going perfectly. See yourself making the right decisions, speaking the right words, taking the right actions. This programs your subconscious for success the next day. Isaac ended every day with this practice. He did not let the day's failures define him. He learned from them and then released them. He went to sleep with a vision of success, not a replay of mistakes. You must do the same. Your subconscious is most receptive in the moments before sleep. Use that time wisely. These are the practices. These are the habits that separate the wealthy from the poor. Not talent. Not luck. Not connections. Habits. Isaac built these habits. He practiced them daily. And over time, they transformed his life. You can do the same. But only if you commit. Only if you practice. Only if you refuse to let a single day pass without applying these principles. This is not a one-time effort. This is a lifestyle. This is who you must become. And if you do it, if you commit fully, you will look back a year from now and not recognize the person you were. Now we have come to the end. But this is not really an ending. This is a beginning. Everything I have shared with you is true. The principles are real. The law is real. The practices work. But none of it matters unless you decide to apply it. You see, Isaac's wealth secrets are not secrets at all. They are simply truths that most people refuse to accept. Truths that demand too much. Truths that require you to take full responsibility for your life. And that is why most people will never be wealthy. Not because they cannot. But because they will not. They will not take responsibility. They will not discipline their thoughts. They will not change their words. They will not build the habits. They will watch this video, feel inspired for a moment, and then return to the same patterns that have kept them stuck. But you are not most people. If you were, you would have stopped watching long ago. Something inside you knows that you are meant for more. Something inside you is calling you to rise. To break free. To claim the wealth that is your birthright. Listen to that voice. Honor that calling. Act on it. Because here is the truth that no one else will tell you: you are the cause, not the effect. You are the creator, not the victim. You are the architect of your financial destiny. Everything you have experienced up until this moment has been preparation. Every failure. Every setback. Every disappointment. It has all been teaching you, shaping you, preparing you for this moment. The moment where you decide. Are you going to continue living from the old mindset? The mindset of scarcity, of victimhood, of limitation? Or are you going to step into the new mindset? The mindset of abundance, of responsibility, of power? The choice is yours. And the choice must be made now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because every moment you delay is a moment you remain trapped in the old pattern. Every moment you wait is a moment you reinforce the belief that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. But that belief is a lie. You are ready. You are worthy. You are capable. Isaac was no different from you. He had doubts. He had fears. He had obstacles. But he chose to act anyway. He chose to believe anyway. He chose to build anyway. And that made all the difference. You have the same choice. You have the same power. You have the same creative intelligence living within you, waiting for your command. Give it a command. Tell it what you want. Show it through your thoughts, your words, and your actions that you are serious. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for proof. Start now. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Practice the morning mental rehearsal. Write your gratitude inventory. Create value every single day. Speak words of abundance. Invest in yourself. Audit your associations. Reflect every evening. Do these things consistently, faithfully, without wavering, and I promise you, your life will change. Not because of magic. Not because of luck. But because of law. The law that governs all wealth. The law that Isaac understood and applied. The law that is working for you right now, whether you realize it or not. Align with that law, and everything shifts. Your bank account will grow. Your opportunities will multiply. Your confidence will soar. Your life will transform. But you must commit. You must decide. You must act. And you must do it now. Because the world does not reward potential. It rewards action. It rewards those who take the principles and apply them. It rewards those who refuse to quit, who refuse to make excuses, who refuse to settle. Be that person. Become that person. Step into that version of yourself that you have been glimpsing in your mind. Isaac did it. And so can you. Your wealth is not out there. It is inside you. It always has been. You have simply been looking in the wrong direction. Turn inward. Take command of your mind. Build the habits. Practice the principles. And watch as the outer world bends to reflect the inner transformation. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your calling. Do not let it pass. Stand up. Commit. Act. And become the wealthy person you were always meant to be. Your future is waiting. Go claim it.